I think that was really loud.
Well, hello.
Hello, hello.
Another week. Here we go with a Monday, but it's Veterans Day.
It is Veterans Day, and welcome to the Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast. Thank you so much for joining
I like
us.
it though. I kind of like the energy with the music right there, Curt.
We can just run music the entire time behind us. How's that sound? Crazy music. Yes, happy Veterans Day. And we have coming up for you today some Veterans Day deals. As always, there's deals on the holidays, you know. We want you to know about all these deals. There's a bunch. Also, Mattel, they make a big wicked mistake on one of their toys.
Oh,
That's
bad. It's a good one.
We have a great way for you to sit out the next 4 years if you're not interested in paying attention to politics. A great way for you to ignore it. Also, 1 in 12 employees has never done this at work. Jen, have you done this at work? Yeah, you have.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a new trend with parents that have kids in college that we'll share with you as well. All that stuff coming up, and the ever popular more with the Curt and Jen podcast today. All right.
Okay. Just hopping right in. Okay. So what are we starting with, Curt? What do you want to
Veterans Day deals.
Yes. Okay. Tell us all the things.
Well, I'm not going to tell all the things because there's a bunch. But first, how about the little look at Veterans Day?
Okay.
As a whole, been celebrating that for over 100 years. Now, originally, it was called Armistice Day. Excuse me. And that was marking the first anniversary of the end of World War I. Then it became a federal holiday in 1938 as Armistice Day. They changed to Veterans Day in 1954. And here we are in 2024. Yes, question.
What does armistice mean? Is that like a generic word or is that a proper noun?
Do you want to look it up? Or you want me to look it up?
Listen, I asked that really thinking that you know because you know all the things. You know so many things when it comes to
I want to make sure
words.
I get it exactly right. So you keep yapping for a second and I'll get you your Armistice Day.
Well, I did want to just say, and I think on behalf of both of us, for you veterans out there, thank you for serving our country, and for those serving currently, thank you. I'm glad we have a day to honor you because you deserve more than just a day. But you got a lot of deals you can take advantage of.
Like if it was armistice, say, for instance, that would be an agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting for a certain time, or a truce. I guess it was too tough to call it Truce Day, so they went with armistice to confuse people. But there you go. Now we know.
Thank you.
Now we
Curt.
know.
Seriously, I mean, let me just side note, Curt Cruz gets mad at me when I ask him questions during the podcast. He's like, why do you ask questions and we don't know the answers?
We don't know the answer to, but now we decided it's okay to look it up, or you just ask Siri. And then, now there goes my phone. All right. Okay, deals for today, for Veterans Day. If you want to check out all these deals, USA Today has put in there more than 80 deals to be had, but some of them that you can enjoy. Free coffee at Starbucks for veterans, a free red, white, and blue pancake at IHOP,
Ooh.
Free wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, free meals at Applebee's and Chili's. We've got complimentary entree and drink for veterans at California Pizza Kitchen, among others. Jen, what do you have?
Well, Red Lobster and Round Table Pizza will have special deals. And I mentioned this one because I'm doing some contract work for Kroger, and I just did a little press release about it. Kroger, which in our area is Fred Meyer and QFC,
right?
10% off your purchases with military ID. You have to use your rewards card, and some restrictions apply, but it's a good deal. Like 10% off some groceries. Yes,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with inflation, that's great. Other deals that get at California Pizza Kitchen, Dave and Buster's, Firehouse Subs, which are delicious. Also, Next Level Burger, Red Lobster, Round Table Pizza, among others. If you want to know all of them, well, use your computer, and I guess you can find everything out there, right?
Computer, okay.
Yeah, that's how Dana says it. She swears it in the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. At one point, the dad goes, "Use your computer." Like, all right, computer.
Okay, I like it.
I've never heard it, but I go with what my wife says, which that's what keeps me alive and healthy, I think.
Okay. We got some recaps for you from the weekend. Sports recap: Huskies, in my mind, as expected, got pummeled by Penn State. Cougs beat Utah State. And Curt, what about your Kraken?
Well, Friday night was the last Kraken game. Was Friday night. They beat the lowly Vegas Knights in overtime. It was a win, and a win is a win.
Doesn't that make it more fun when it's in overtime and you get the win?
It depends. I mean, it's bonus hockey when you're at the game. It's kind of nice, but it's also a little bit, like, oh, I'm going to have a heart attack. So it's not so good for my health sometimes, I would have to say. as far as that goes. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind an overtime win. I don't like a shootout win. Those are. I don't think anybody does. The shootouts are a bad way to win, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. How about
You know what I did
other
this
stuff
weekend?
we did this weekend?
I'm going to tell you, I did something for the first time this year. I
What's that?
watched a Christmas movie. Macy, my daughter, and I, which I
Mhm.
love when she decides to do this. We made some popcorn on Friday night and she's like, I got the movie we're going to watch, Mom. And she turns it, I'm like, we're watching a Christmas movie. She's like, yes, meet me next Christmas on Netflix. It's cute.
I don't. Is that a new one?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I've not heard of it. Who is in
It's,
it that I should? Here's a question: Who's in it, Jen?
I don't know. If there were big names, I'm like not hip and don't know.
Okay, so just
It
a
was
fun.
cute. It was a
How
cute
it was
little,
cute.
it was Hallmark movie-ish.
All right. Well, a
Yeah.
lot of the Christmas movies are.
You went to the
One
Kraken,
thing I
right?
did over
Yeah.
the weekend was we got to go to the Kraken Super. I know this sounds like an all Kraken show. I promise you it won't be. But we went to the Seattle Kraken Super Skills Showcase on Saturday, which is where the players get together and do who's the fastest skater and who's the fastest shooter and who's blah. So it's just a kind of a fun competition. But you also get a chance to meet up with some of the players, and so we did get to meet up with Jared McCann and Joey DeCord and a few other players. And
Did you get their autographs?
well, yeah, you got to do
Okay.
that. And then I met my old friend Groovy there. He was at a different table, but I walked by and kind of gave him a nod. The hit things that guys do. If like me, I'm thinking he's my friend, so I'm like, hey, dude. But he was like, hey, Curt, what's up?
He
So
did?
yeah. So and he is very involved with the equestrian. I can't say it for horses. And we have an event coming up that's going to be a fundraiser involving horses. And I said, hey, can we chat about that? And he's like, yeah, give me a text. So we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it was really fun. The lines were long though. It was about a 2 hour line to get there.
Oh,
So, but we planned on that.
okay.
Now you have to share the other news too that I know you
I
don't are
do
not
have
happy to share.
super sad news. Yes, my roommate Jackie. So we have two dogs in our house. She has Phoebe. I have Snotty Sailor. And on Saturday morning, Jackie woke up and Phoebe had passed away.
Mm,
Like, she was sick on Friday night, and Jackie was gonna bring her to the vet if she wasn't better. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's give it overnight and see if she gets better. Because dogs get sick every once in a while, and
yeah.
she had passed away. I mean, it was so sad. I mean, I call well, you know what? I texted you. I'm like, "Kurt, are you up?" Because I needed help getting Phoebe in my car because I didn't want Jackie to have to deal with that, right? I'm like, "Jackie, I
Right.
I got this."
Right.
And then I mean, I figured you were still asleep because it was early, and so I Googled, how do you deal with this? Like, what do you do? Because
Right.
I don't know. And so I found Heartfelt Memories online. I Googled it, and David, the owner, he started this company. I mean, he's so sweet. He started the company because he lost a pet, and he's like, there was no resources for him. So it's a great resource. They euthanize in home, which Kurt, you and I have, well, I've done. You've done
Yep.
too, right?
Yep.
Anyway, he comes to your house, like, he takes care of it, and he was really compassionate, and it was great. I mean,
Awesome.
the whole event itself was absolutely not great, and my heart goes out to Jackie, and you'll be proud, my first stop, once I took care of everything, was Glassy Baby, to get her the wet dog Glassy Baby with Phoebe's name engraved on it.
Was
What do you gotta do?
did you go to the Glassy Baby in Bellevue?
Mhm.
Because at the Kraken Super Skills Showcase, I bumped into the employee that we know there. Was it Amanda or Angela? Anyway,
Oh,
um,
I love that.
that's sort of weird and
Yeah.
serendipitous that yeah. So
I was
yes,
there shopping while you were at Kraken and saw her. That's awesome.
so we're all thinking about Jackie right now, and of course Phoebe, and
Yeah.
they just don't get long enough lives. That's just the way it is for the dogs.
All right, lighten
Um,
this up. You went somewhere on Saturday with your wife. You had a big day on Saturday. You went to Kraken and then where?
we went out with where there were other humans twice on Saturday. It was our turn to go see Wicked. You saw it on Thursday, I believe.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this was I think our third or maybe fourth time. We love it. And so but one of the interesting things was we were seated it would be stage left, okay, people always have to explain it. You just want to say stage left and have people know, but I got to say, well, if you're in the audience, that's the right side,
Right. Okay, that's what I always get confused about. If stage left means if you're on the stage, your
Right.
vantage points from the stage.
Correct.
Okay.
But we were I mean, we were only like 10 rows back, which is great, but we were way far, like to the right, almost as far as you could go to the right. So I could actually see like when the, say, you know, Elphaba or Galinda or Fiero ran off stage, you know, like a little curtain opened up,
Yes.
and they would go through there, and I could see like the key grip back there and some lighting guy or whatever. It didn't take away from the play, but it added a little another level of interest. One time, Fiero throws something off the stage, shoo, and the guy back there caught it, you know, so it wouldn't go clanging around backstage or whatever. So
You got a bonus show, a bonus
yeah,
side
and
show.
it was kind of it was interesting in a strange way. So, but as always, Wicked was fantastic, and I gotta get some more music ready because
You
we're gonna
got some
talk more Wicked
Kurt,
stuff.
you got some side action. That's what you got.
Side stage action, yes. Nice, Jen. So, accidents happen, right?
Oh my gosh, but when
Mistakes happen.
when you're a big company, you can't have mistakes like this happen.
And we were talking about Wicked, which leads us to this story. Mattel, they make Wicked stuff. They make dolls or whatever, you know, that you can go on. You want your kid wants a Wicked little Galinda or Elphaba. Okay, so Mattel has dolls of the Wicked characters. Evidently, Mattel accidentally put an URL on their packaging. Usually you see a little URL there for a website and you click on, or you know, hold your camera up to it and it takes you to,
An URL. I'm like, what are you talking about? An URL, a URL?
yes, URL. Regardless, for whatever reason, when they printed out the boxes for these Wicked dolls, they have the URL go to wicked.com.
Which you think would be the right thing to put, but you have to check these things and make sure that's the actual website for the movie because alas, it is not.
Wickedmovie.com is the website for the movie Wicked, wickedmovie.com. Wicked.com is just a pornographic website.
Hardcore porn site.
So several
Kids'
toys. Yeah. Discovered this. They found this out. And you would have thought that somebody at Mattel would have at some point, you know, better check the URL. But yeah, someone at Mattel, they were told by these toy buyers that guess what? When you click on this particular website, it is not going to show you Galinda and Elphaba. It is going to show you, I mean, there might be Galinda and Elphaba there, but you don't want to see that version.
You know, if I'm Wicked right now with this mistake, if I'm Wicked.com with this mistake right now, I'd be putting something sexy on with these two characters.
Take advantage of that. Yeah, they're probably getting more hits on that website than they ever had.
Oh my God, seriously.
So if you want to go check out Wicked stuff, go to wickedmovie.com, right? And Mattel admitted to the misprint. They said they deeply regret the error, of course, and advised parents to discard the packaging or scratch out the link. And they're also taking immediate action to replace the old stock with correct packaging. There you go.
Oh my gosh. And if you want to see Wicked, the movie, it opens November 22nd.
That was actually a fun story. And you know, I mean, I know it's not really innocent enough because you got kids going to a porn site, but what do you do if you're Mattel?
It's
backpedal.
Something. Okay.
All right.
I thought this person was older.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I thought this person was younger because.
Oh, you did?
Well, to a lot of people, this person will always be Jack in Titanic.
Oh,
now I've given it away, haven't I?
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio, 50 years old today. Leo is? You thought he was older than that?
Older than 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like, yes, I did. I thought he maybe was in his mid 50s.
Okay. Well, he's not. He's 50. Do you have I'm going to ask this. Do you have a favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Jen?
I am trying, give me some options. Do you have some? I was looking it up really quickly.
Some options? Well, I mean, I don't want to, I think that'll sway you. I mean, I know what mine is off the top of my head, but I have two. It would be Catch Me If You Can and also What's Eating Gilbert Grape when he was really young. Phenomenal movie. And great acting by Leo.
The Wolf of Wall Street. I think I remember that one. That was pretty good.
That was great, mostly because of well, not Leo.
Who? Because of who?
Why am I blanking on her name right now? The girl, Barbie.
Oh, she was in it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think that's the way when she was in, yeah. And why don't I think it help me with her name?
Robbie, Margot
Margot
Robbie.
Robbie. There you go. Okay, yeah. He was in The Departed, Titanic, of course, Inception, Django Unchained. A lot of these are ones that you probably wouldn't be interested in, Jen, just because they're sort of kind of dark.
Yeah.
The Aviator, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Was why am I totally blanking? Like, I feel like I'm so bad at this movie thing. Who was
Once
in
Upon a
Dead
Time in Hollywood he was in.
Who acted in Dead Poets Society?
Well, that was Robin Williams.
Right, but who are the two kids? Do you remember?
Ethan Hawke?
What?
Was it Ethan Hawke in that one?
I don't know. I thought
Now I got to look up Dead Poet Society.
I'm looking it up. Keep
I beat
going.
you to it.
Cover for me.
You cover for me.
I've got it. I've got it right now. I've got it.
Okay.
Oh, Ethan Hawke, you were right.
Yeah. It also had I think those are the two big names. I know I'm going to get yelled at by somebody for not knowing all of them. But
Robert Sean Leonard.
Yes, Josh Charles. I remember him in there as well. And then,
God, you're good, Curt. You're good.
Those
I
are the
only
three.
brought that up because I get so confused. I'm like, was Leonardo DiCaprio in that? No, he was not.
Well, you could still say it's your favorite Leo movie, even if he wasn't in it. My favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie is this one. He's not in it, but it's still my favorite.
Okay, all right, let's move on.
All right, happy to move on from that one. And happy birthday, Leo, right?
Yeah, the Grammy nominations were announced.
That's
which
true.
I can't believe it's already this time of year. Like, we're getting close to Christmas, people.
Mm-hmm.
Among the leading nominees were pop gone country stars Beyonce with 11 nominations. So she has the most nominations. Post Malone got 7 nods. Between them, they have been nominated 18 times for their work on the album Cowboy Carter and F-1 Trillion.
Yeah. So this is, what's interesting, of course, is that really, I mean, certainly Beyonce, and maybe not Post Malone as much, but neither of them are known for, being country artists.
Right.
And they put out, I mean, a couple of great albums that were certainly country flavored. So Beyonce's nominations lead the Grammy field overall. Post Malone's nominations
at 7. Go ahead.
He's tied with Charlie XCX, Billie Eilish, and Kendrick Lamar, all of whom have 7 nods.
If you want to catch the Grammy Awards, the 67th Grammy Awards, that is, they will air on CBS on February 2nd.
There you go. Simple to that. You told me about this story. I remember from last week. Middle of last week.
My roommate Jackie was telling me about it. She's like, Jen, did you hear about the 42 monkeys that escaped from South Carolina? I'm like, no.
Well, it's
43 monkeys.
Yeah, it's not 43 monkeys anymore because a lot of them have been caught. This is kind of an update on the escaped monkeys. So yeah, 25 of the 43 monkeys that broke loose, the company or the place is called Alpha Genesis in South Carolina. It's a primate research facility. So they've got 25 of the monkeys back, which means there's still 18 still at large somewhere in Yamasee, 60 miles west of Charleston, South Carolina.
Jackie was telling me when she was listening to that story when it first broke, she said that the residents are so used to the monkeys escaping, maybe not in this number, but they're so used to them escaping. They're like, okay, yeah. Or they might see one and say, oh, hey, I've got one in my backyard.
That's really, we're making a bit, oh my God. You're like, happens all the time.
Right?
Apparently the monkeys made a break for it on Wednesday. There was a caretaker, aptly named caretaker at the research center. He failed to lock the doors after a feeding. He or she did, or they.
And those monkeys, they're smart monkeys. They get out. They know.
They're going to take over, man. Haven't you seen any of the Planet of the Apes?
No, I have not.
Well, it's not good for the humans.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
There was an old movie. I remember my mom, like, do you ever have those memories from your childhood? My mom had a movie on TV and it was a black and white movie. And it was about someone had this pet monkey and the pet monkey went rogue. And so ever since then, I like to look at monkeys at the zoo from behind glass, but they actually do scare me from that memory.
Wow.
And I don't know what movie it was, but it was not good.
It stuck with you. Yeah. And you hear stories. I mean, sometimes they do go a little bit nuts. And again, it's not always so good for the humans, I guess. That's Jen Pierak.
Yeah. Why am I bringing my single girlfriends to a hardware store? Let me tell you why.
That's what I want to know. All it says here is Home Depot, Jen's story.
Okay, so this is a dating trend. Something went viral on social, of course, and it was about a dating trend. And this gal's like, okay, I'm sick of the dating apps. So I am gonna go to Home Depot and find myself a man
A
because
man.
that's where they hang out. And I'll tell you, hot firefighter boyfriend, Pat, he hangs out at Home Depot a lot. So if I didn't meet him online, this would have been a good way to get him.
So
And so I watched the viral video because I'm like, what is this all about? So she goes in and she's like, she has her camera. And when I bring my girlfriends, we're not going to have our camera, although maybe I will video it. They don't know they're going to Home Depot with me yet. But she's
okay.
got her video camera going for this viral video, or this video that went viral, looking down the aisles, and she spots one and she's like, oh, he's cute. So she goes up to him and says, hey, excuse me, can you help me? I need to hang a really big picture in my house and I'm not sure what to get. And she's like, do you mind helping me? And so he helps her. And it sounds like I looked at the updated videos. They've gone out like a couple times. It worked.
Awesome. I'm wondering how long you have to, well, you and your girlfriends are going to have to hang out in Home Depot. And also, what are you going to do for 3 or 4 hours? Walk around?
It's not going to be for 3 or 4 hours. We're going to find him right away.
Oh, of course. Right. Okay.
We're going to find the right man for them right away. I'm excited for this field trip.
Help me. I don't know what to do. What's a flathead screwdriver look like?
She didn't really have a picture to hang, by the way. She even said it in her viral video. There was a little like text of what's really happening, even though that it doesn't match her words.
And now their whole relationship is based on a lie. See?
Okay, well, we'll have real house projects that we'll bring up, Curt. All right.
I like it.
Moving on. I'm just saying, if you're single, maybe that's the way to go.
All right. Hey, you know what? It sounds like a good idea. Here's something. Can I just leave it at that? And here's something.
Yes.
A lot of people have been stressed out about the election we just had, and some people are still stressed out about the results of the election. To each their own, right? There is a way, if you want to get away from all the madness and you'd like to get away for the entirety of the next presidential term, how about a 4-year cruise on the water?
Okay.
It's an opportunity for you. It's available. Cruise Line just announced a special package called Skip Forward. It will allow travelers to spend 4 years on a cruise ship, returning home just in time for the next administration, right? This cruise will hit all 7 continents and go to 140 countries, which sounds awesome. I mean, you see the whole world.
For 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long-ass time.
I was wondering about that, too.
On a
If you
boat.
get like a month or 2 into it, you're like, oh, I've still got 46 months to go.
And I really don't like the people on this cruise. And
I'm seasick.
Imagine that.
Well, it's not cheap. The single occupancy rooms start at the single occupancy rooms start at $256,000. If you're in a double occupancy room, that's $320,000.
It would be interesting to do the math on that, actually.
Well, if you break it down to like how much is it? Yeah, how much does a weekly cruise cost? Like a cruise for a week costs X amount of money. So, want me to do the math, right? While you tell the story?
No, we don't need to do the math. I'm just saying, I wonder how far off that is for living expenses for 4 years, because as long as you don't have to pay your rent anymore, right? You get someone to rent your house for the 4 years. So you're hopefully you can still make your payments on your house, or you get rid, if you're a renter like me, you just
it looks like that breaks down to $1,254 per cruise if they were week-long cruises for single occupancy.
Okay.
But like you said, all the food's going to be covered.
Yeah, it's like you have a personal chef and
yep.
I mean, not
fitness
personal
center,
chef,
spa, all that kind of stuff. I guess there's also options for shorter cruises, including what they're calling a midterm option. That's just 2 years.
Cute. Okay.
That'll take it through the midterms. And how about this? No traffic for 4 years.
There's that too. Are you going to be going on this cruise, Curt? You and Dana?
Well, I do not have an extra $320,000 to spend.
Okay.
And I do think that I'd be one of the people that would get really not seasick, but certainly stir crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
that's a
big
long
boats, obviously, but
Yeah, it's a
all
long time
right.
to be on a boat. It's a reality TV series waiting to happen. I think they already have one like that.
Here's another reality TV series waiting to happen.
No, it's not. I mean, you and I have both done this at work, but 1 in 12 employees have never done this at work, and that is poop.
There you go, Jen. This is your story, even though I found it. All right. First of all, there was a survey done on bathroom habits, which immediately I think is funny. Bathroom habits at work.
Because you're
Here's
a
a survey.
boy, so of course you think it's funny.
1 in 12 employees claim they have never pooed at work. That's about 8% of the people that did this particular study. A third of employees are scared to poo at work.
I mean,
One
I
in
can
five
say
employees.
I've had some poop fright before for sure.
Like, is that like being pee shy? Poop
But like
fright?
stage fright.
1 in 5 employees refuse to poop at work unless it's absolutely necessary. And finally, 1 in 4 chooses to hold it all day and wait until they get home. That's not great. That's going to affect your performance at work, I would think. Sitting there.
It's also going to affect your insides.
You got your cheeks clenched all day long. Sorry. Here's the issues, apparently, for most people. The biggest issue is a lack of privacy. That's probably more common when they're in larger bathrooms rather than the one-person lockable rooms. Those are a dream, aren't they?
Well, and also like, okay, so this was like second place in the reasons why people don't poop at work. The smell and the noise concerns and the fear of judgment from coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And what's this concerns about cleanliness? Like, what do you mean? Like, you wipe. That's what toilet paper's for.
Well, I think they're, well, I mean, you don't know what other butts have been on those seats, or
Oh, you're afraid of the cleanliness. Okay,
I would
I
say,
get it.
or certain things may have splashed on those seats. If it's, I don't know. Why are we talking about this? For what it's worth, women are far more likely to dislike pooing at work. Apparently, guys just don't care as much. And since we do have some more data, how about this? Some common strategies for pooing comfortably at work include going during less busy times, waiting until the bathroom is clear, using air fresheners, and, quote, mapping out your favorite bathrooms.
Do you remember? Do you remember when we were in the old radio building, and the people from TV were on the 4th floor and radio was on the 3rd floor, and TV people would come down to the 3rd floor bathroom and do their number 2s down there because they were too embarrassed to do it upstairs.
But it was okay to do it on the radio, folks, because we're like the steerage passengers on the Titanic. They come on down, say, these people don't matter. They just are on the radio.
We're going to stink up their bathroom.
That's right. Eric Johnson, thanks a lot. I'm kidding. I don't know that Eric ever did that.
People did do that for real, especially in the mornings.
That's pretty hilarious, actually. So don't be scared. Let the poop fly.
Everybody poops. Everybody poops. That's going to be the name of this episode, the one where everybody poops.
We're going to do that. Let's go with that. I like it. All right.
This is funny, Curt. When you found this next story that we're about to do, I have some girlfriends who have college-aged kids, and they do this. It's called Parents Weekend, and they go party with their kids.
They used to have Parents Weekend when I was in college. They still do, obviously. But it wasn't so your parents could come and party with you. It was like, oh, here's my dorm room, and here's everything around campus and stuff. And so now apparently, this is from the Wall Street Journal, just did a story on this and how it's becoming a trend for parents to visit their kids at college and party with them.
My girlfriend Jeanette has 2 kids in college. So she had to do, I think it was back-to-back weekends. And she's like, I am really feeling bad for my liver right now. It is going to be in deep trouble after these 2 weekends. Because she goes and drinks with her kids, parties it up.
Apparently, the things I was just discussing, touring the campus, meeting professors is still a thing schools offer, but apparently more and more parents are following that stuff up with keg stands.
I couldn't do a keg stand. I don't like beer enough, and I could probably do a handstand if it was against a wall on a beer keg.
This is from a 53-year-old mom from Kansas with multiple kids. She said she's done 9 parents' weekends at 3 schools, played lots of beer pong and flip cup, and once held a girl's hair back while she was
puking.
That's the one.
Wow. Well, I have a daughter in college. She lives with her dad, so I will not be doing a visit and partying like
And you will
that.
not be holding her hair up at those times?
I mean, I will if I need to. Always, I'll be there for her.
Well, according to this lady, that the kids are cool with it and seem to enjoy partying with her. And her 22-year-old daughter agreed. She says it's fun hanging out with her mom and dad as adults because she gets to see them not as just parents, but as drunk people.
I
She
mean,
didn't. There's drunk people's not in there, but
but it is true though. It's so funny because they, when these parents come back for these weekends, they are wreckety wrecked because
that's true.
as we're older, we don't bounce back as easy.
Yes, or sometimes at all. So yeah, the school's philosophy, it says, is we try to not to parent the parents. Who am I to remind you to be on your best behavior? Which leads some parents to maybe being on their worst behavior. But you do you, parents, right?
I love it. I mean, you know what? If that's what you want to do, you go. You go.
Guess what, Jen? Guess what we spend a quarter of our life doing now? And you're thinking,
for real, this is sad. This is
well,
sad.
you're thinking a quarter of our life, probably, I don't know, eating or sleeping, something like that. Here we go. The average American now spends a quarter of their life, or 6 hours a day, consuming content. That includes time spent on everything from streaming, using TikTok, to reading books and listening to the radio.
Listening to the radio part's not terrible, or listening to a podcast like this one is not
We're
terrible.
still big fans of that, obviously. 6 hours, 6 hours a day, which is 1/4 of 24 hours. Means a full quarter of your life is now spent watching, consuming stuff, or if you don't count the hours of your sleep, that'd be more than a third of your waking hours. Content.
And age matters in this whole thing. It's Gen Z consumes the most content per day at 6.5 hours on average. So there's kids that do even more than that.
Right. And but I was surprised, even people in their 80s says it's almost 5 hours a day. So that's still a lot.
I'm going to tell you this. I am reading this book as recommended by my I'm friends with the girls. Both had my two daughters had the same first grade teacher, Mrs. Moyer.
Okay.
And I'm friends with her. We go walking, we do dinner every once in a while. And she recommended this book, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan. I think it's pronounced Haidt.
Haidt.
Yeah. And I am telling you what, like, it is scary. He's dedicated his life to researching this kind of thing. And the trends and what it does to our kids' minds, like, it's researched. It's solid evidence. I'm like, what are we doing? And
The Anxious Generation. So it's kind of a scary cautionary tale then, yes?
Well, I will just tell you this. He starts the book out by talking about sending your child to Mars. Like, there's this proposition that you can send your child to Mars and you don't know a lot of information about it, but darn, it'll be really cool. I mean, I'm paraphrasing drastically. Right. And he's like, this is what we did to our kids when we gave them a smartphone and gave them access to the internet at all times of the day. Because we don't know as parents what they're getting into. And he talks about, what it does to, it does different things to girls than what it does to boys, because boys spend a lot of their time playing games, the interactive games, and on porn. Little boys do this because they have access to it. And girls do a lot of social media, which does so much to their whole self-confidence and psyche and all that. Anyway, it is, if you can read the book, please do, because we need to work to change. And he does offer solutions. I'm just not at that part yet.
The Anxious Generation is what you're talking about.
It's all about consuming content. He calls the Gen Z the rewired generation. Yeah.
I don't have kids and I want to read that.
Curt, for real. It like, even what it does to our own brains, it's nuts. But because we were more developed when all this came out, it's not as bad for us. But when you're putting these kids that have not, their brains aren't fully developed, they haven't gone through puberty even.
And now you're freezing up there, by the way.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to start yapping by myself. There you go. You're back. I think you're back.
Oh, it says my connection is unstable. Fantastic.
That's not the only thing that's unstable. Sorry. That's stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's wrap up with this, Jen. Our Curt and Jen podcast question of the day for you. Your challenge is to come up with this: stupid ways you've injured yourself.
I have an example. Do you want me to give it right now?
Sure.
My stupid way that I injured myself is my now ex-husband, but then husband Dwayne, and I were at his niece's birthday party. Macy, or no, Macy wasn't even born yet, I don't think, and Riley was young. And she did it at one of those, like those trampoline, like jumpy, like the inflatable places. You know what I'm
Oh, like
talking
a
about?
bouncy house or something?
Yeah. And there was a thing that was a obstacle course, and it was a 2-person obstacle course. So I'm like, yeah, let's race. We'll have a race. And Dwayne is like a very fit. He's a SWAT officer. Like, he's probably going to beat me, but I think that I can beat him.
Of course you do.
Not when I bust my ankle up because my foot gets stuck in one of the inflatable things as I'm going through it, and I twist it all up. There you go. There's my example.
And you know what mine's going to be, which would be the day before you're leaving on a flight to go see your family in Florida, and you decide to change the batteries in the outside cameras. Don't, in flip-flops on an aluminum ladder in the rain, climb up there, and then on top of that, stand on the very top of the ladder where it says do not stand here, or you may fall and get a concussion.
Bruce.
Stupid. That was the stupid ways you've injured yourself. I think I did okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's what we
Way
want
to
from
show
you.
up.
Stupid ways
Way
you
to
injured
show
yourself.
up.
I'm looking forward to some of these answers.
Yeah, it should be good.
It'll be fantastic.
All right. We hope that your Monday's off to a great start. Here's to making it a great week. Make good choices. Find joy. Spread kindness. Thank you so much for listening.